Do I need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlin Clark?
Somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical.
Caitlin gets fouled. We can't make it seem like she was assaulted. Why like a Stephen A. Smith? It was that important to you to run the Kennedy Carter hip check, right?
The world of women's basketball is no stranger to rivalries, heated debates, and intense moments of triumph and controversy. This year, the WNBA saw one such moment that stirred up passionate discussions among fans and players alike: the rise of Caitlin Clark, a rookie sensation who has not only shattered records, but also sparked a firestorm of opinions, most notably from former WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes. As Clark makes waves in the league, Swoopes' dismissive comments about her have led to a broader conversation about the changing dynamics in women's basketball, touching on topics of race, sexuality, and generational divides. It all began when Sheryl Swoopes, a pioneer in women's basketball, made some biting remarks about Caitlin Clark's potential. In an appearance on the Asterisk, an apologetically Angel Asterisk podcast, hosted by Angel Reese, Swoopes laughed at the idea of Clark leading the WNBA in assists. She was dismissive of Clark's abilities and seemed unconvinced that a rookie like her could make such an impact on the league. Swoopes, a player who helped shape the early days of the WNBA, clearly didn't see Clark as a threat, or so she thought. Fans of Clark, particularly those who have followed her meteoric rise from college ball at Iowa to the professional courts of the WNBA, didn't take kindly to Swoopes' comments. Social media platforms lit up with responses, many from Caitlin Clark fans who defended her talent and called out Swoopes for being out of touch with the current landscape of the game. Some even accused Swoopes of harboring jealousy and animosity toward Clark's success. As the debate heated up, the conversation expanded beyond just basketball. Some pointed out that Swoopes' criticism of Clark might stem from more than just basketball rivalry. Caitlin Clark is a white, heterosexual woman dominating in a league that has been shaped predominantly by Black women, and in recent years, LGBTQ+ figures. Many fans and analysts have speculated that Swoopes' comments might be a reflection of her frustration with the attention Clark is receiving in a space where Black, queer women like Swoopes have historically had to fight for recognition. Swoopes did not shy away from these accusations, responding publicly, "People are coming at me saying I made those comments because I'm a racist. Like, first of all, Black people can't be racist, but that's the farthest thing from my mind." Her defense, however, didn't quell the controversy. The line between legitimate criticism and personal bias became blurred as fans, players, and commentators debated whether Swoopes' feelings were rooted in envy, race, or a generational shift in the league. While the storm of controversy raged on, Caitlin Clark continued to let her game do the talking. Fast forward to a historic night, and Clark broke the WNBA record for most assists in a single season, hitting her 317th assist. An incredible feat for a rookie. For many, this was the ultimate vindication of Clark's talent, especially in light of Swoopes' earlier remarks. The jokes and laughing emojis that once accompanied Swoopes' dismissal of Clark's potential now seemed out of place, as the young player not only lived up to but exceeded all expectations. Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA goes beyond just numbers. Her shooting prowess, often compared to NBA star Steph Curry, has captivated fans and brought renewed attention to women's basketball. Even NBA players like Anthony Edwards and JJ Redick have weighed in, praising Clark's shooting range and overall skill. Redick went as far as to say that Caitlin Clark is the best female college player ever, a statement that stirred even more debate within the basketball community. Clark herself has remained humble amidst all the praise, noting that it feels like a dream to be mentioned alongside legends like Curry. She often speaks about growing up watching players like him and drawing inspiration from his game. However, despite the accolades, Clark has also been candid about the whirlwind of emotions that comes with her rapid rise to fame. Clark's success is not just a personal achievement, but a boon for the WNBA as a whole. The league has long been fighting for more visibility, higher attendance, and greater respect from both fans and media. Caitlin Clark is proving to be the spark that the WNBA needed. Wherever she plays, the attendance numbers skyrocket, with an average of 15,300 fans showing up to see her in action. She has single-handedly brought new energy to the league, drawing in viewers who may not have paid attention to women's basketball before. As one commentator put it, nobody cared about the WNBA until that girl, Caitlin Clark, came along. While this statement may oversimplify the league's history and struggles, there is truth to the idea that Clark is bringing unprecedented attention to the sport. The WNBA has long been seen as a hidden gem. Sheryl Swoopes is undoubtedly one of the greatest players in WNBA history. As a 3-time MVP and 4-time WNBA champion, her legacy is secure. However, the recent controversy with Caitlin Clark has raised questions about how former players like Swoopes view the current generation of talent. The game has changed significantly since Swoopes' era, with players now showcasing a level of skill, athleticism, and flair that wasn't as common in the early days of the league. One particularly harsh critic, J.J. Redick, pointed out that Swoopes played in a time when the competition was not as strong, insinuating that her dominance came against meter maids and lunch ladies. While this comment was clearly hyperbolic, it reflects a sentiment that the WNBA has evolved, and former legends need to acknowledge the growth of the sport and the talent of today's players. Swoopes' failure to recognize Caitlin Clark's talent, at least publicly, has led some to speculate that she feels threatened by the new generation. Clark's rise, after all, represents a shift in the power dynamics of the league, where young stars like her are not just competing but breaking records and making history. Whether Swoopes will eventually give Clark the credit she deserves remains to be seen. But for now, the former MVP seems more focused on defending her legacy than embracing the future of the sport. Despite the drama, the future of women's basketball looks brighter than ever. With players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and others leading the charge, the WNBA is experiencing a renaissance. More eyes are on the game, more fans are filling the stands, and more media outlets are covering women's basketball than ever before. Clark's rookie season has shown that there is a growing appetite for high-level women's sports, and the WNBA is poised to capitalize on this momentum. It's also worth noting that the conversation surrounding race, sexuality, and representation in the WNBA is far from over. As the league continues to grow, so too will the debates about who gets the spotlight and why. Players like Caitlin Clark, who are breaking barriers and challenging norms, will continue to spark discussions about the intersections of identity, talent, and opportunity in professional sports. In the end, the Caitlin Clark-Sheryl Swoopes saga is about more than just basketball. It's a reflection of the growing pains of a league in transition, as it moves from being an overlooked part of the sports world to a cultural phenomenon in its own right. Clark represents the future, dynamic, marketable, and undeniably talented. Swoopes, meanwhile, embodies the rich history of the WNBA, a reminder of the players who paved the way for today's stars. As the WNBA continues to evolve, so too will the conversations about race, gender, and the ever-changing dynamics of the game. What's clear is that Caitlin Clark has already left an indelible mark on the sport, and her journey is just beginning. Whether or not Sheryl Swoopes ever comes around to acknowledging her greatness, one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark is here to stay, and she's rewriting the history books with every assist, every three-pointer, and every record she breaks.